Hi, I'm Busy Lizzie, your friendly neighborhood vegan makeup artist. And today I'm going to show you how to do a pink and silver glitter cut crease look. Perfect for if you're looking to join the Pink Pony Club. So I like to start by covering up any blemishes that I have. I have a tiny one right here right now. I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Camo Color Corrector Green to cancel out that redness. I'm just going to put the tiniest amount of this right there on that tiny little blemish. And I'm going to just use my finger. I feel like this works the best for kind of just like blending that out a little bit. Just want to neutralize the redness. And I'm going to go right over it with my NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. Same thing with this one, just a super small amount right on top of there. And I'm just going to use my finger again to blend that. I feel like fingers are underutilized tools when it comes to makeup. You don't need a brush for everything. And sometimes brushes leave little brush strokes, and you don't really want that. I feel like fingers make it look so much more natural. Speaking of brushes though, I am actually going to go in with a brush for this next thing here. I'm using my flat top kabuki brush and my Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. This is amazing. I just used this for the first time recently, and it feels really good on my skin. It doesn't seem super cakey. I am in love, actually. I think this is probably my favorite foundation I've ever used. So I'm just going to put a decent amount on this, just right onto my brush here. And I'm going to just start dabbing this all over my face. I'm just going to fully cover my face with this. Okay, now that my face is fully covered, I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Creamy Natural Airbrushing Pressed Powder to go right on top of that and kind of just set that foundation. You can also use a translucent powder for this, but I like this because it does have a little bit of color to it, and I feel like it does kind of just even everything out a little bit more. Alright, so we've got a good base. Now I'm going to use my Milani Dolce Pink Baked Powder Blush, and I'm just gonna get a decent amount of this on my blush brush here. Top off the excess. I like this blush because it does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. I think that's really pretty. I always like to put too much to start, and then go back in with my pressed powder blush and buff out the edges. I think wearing too much blush is my favorite thing. I'm just going right on top of it to soften it out a little bit more too. Now I'm going to use my Wet n Wild contouring palette using the darker shade for some contouring. I'm going to grab my contour brush here, just dab a little bit on, always tap off the excess. Go in right here, just brushing upwards, bottom of the cheekbone. You always want to brush upwards because it's going to make you look a lot more sculpted. The sides of the nose, give it a little bit more definition. And also the jawline, just right underneath the jaw. And just kind of blend out that contour that I just did a little bit. I don't want it to look harsh. I didn't have that much on my brush, so it's not going to take much to kind of blend this. Just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to do my brows. Brows are done. Now I'm going to do the shadow. So I'm going to start with just a little shadow brush here. And I'm going to blend out this Glow Shots NYX liquid shadow that I have in Grapefruit Glow. I'm just going to put this all over my lids first with this little one that it comes with. And then I'm going to use my shadow brush to just cover my lids with it and then bring it out a little bit to kind of like a half circle around my eyes. I'm using this as a primer. I've used other eyeshadow primers before that are made to be primers, and most of the time they kind of just crack and they don't last, and I don't like it. But this is what I have found that makes the shadow stick to my lids. It doesn't crack, it's not super thick, I am a big fan. It's kind of shimmery, but it doesn't really matter what kind of shadow you put on top. Even if it's matte, it still looks really good. I like using this color specifically because it's pretty neutral. And you can kind of just put anything on top and it'll look good. So I have covered my lids now, and I'm gonna go in with my NYX Ultimate Edit palette here. I'm gonna use the pink one. This is the Bright Shadow palette. I'm gonna put a generous amount of this on my brush, but I'm gonna tap off the excess. I'm gonna kind of pack it on to my lid like this. I am gonna bring it up and around to create that kind of dome half circle look around my lid as well. Don't be afraid to use a lot of shadow here. You do want to focus more on the space that is just beyond your lid, because the lids are going to be covered with glitter. Okay, so this is where you're going to start. And then you're going to get a little tiny brush here and grab that same pink color and put it right on your lower lash line. Now I'm going to get my brush that I was using for my shadow, and I'm going to get as much of that shadow off of it as I can on a paper towel. And I'm going to use this brush just to blend the outside of this pink shadow here to make it a little more soft, both sides. I don't want to have a harsh line. Now that I've blended that out, I'm grabbing an angled Q-tip here, and I'm just creating a little bit more of a sharp edge there, just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna do some highlight. So I'm gonna use I have just a cream highlight here. I'm gonna get a little brush and put this in the corners of my eyes. Now it's time for some glitter. So I'm gonna use my NYX glitter primer. I'm gonna put this on the back of my hand. Use it as a little palette here. And I'm gonna get a little flat brush and just pretty much coat my brush with this primer. This is basically just like a glue. So I'm gonna coat my lid, but make sure just to do your lid only. Be very careful, because whatever you put this on, the glitter is going to stick to. Don't worry if this takes off some of that pink, because we're covering it with glitter anyway. I'm using my NYX glitter here, just some silver glitter. I'm just gonna put it right in the cap. Use that same brush and just dunk it in and go crazy with this glitter. You want to put it on before that primer dries. There we go. Now I'm going to do my other eye. Now I'm going to do some eyeliner. I'm going to use my Honest Beauty liquid eyeliner here. This is my favorite eyeliner. I love it so much. I feel like it really lasts. So I'm just going to do a little wing here. No, I said little wing. This is actually a little bit more of a big wing. Okay, so I am gonna actually add a little bit of extra sparkle. I have this little sparkly glitter palette here. I'm just gonna use a little bit of, it's just like a kind of clear iridescent star. I'm gonna rub it around on my hand to kind of warm it up a little bit and make it easier to stick. And once I've warmed it up, I'm gonna grab a Q-tip. Just grab a little bit of this, very end of the Q-tip, and place it right on the inner corner of my eye. all over the place. So just do that on both sides. Now I'm gonna turn on my lash curler here. My heated lash curler. I love this thing so much. It really makes such a huge difference. And while that's heating up, I'm going to get my glue on lashes ready. Just going to use some tweezers to peel them off of my little holder here. And I'm gonna use a little mini scissor to just cut off the first little section of these lashes because I don't want them to be poking the inner corner of my eye because that's so annoying. It just fits me so much better if I cut that off. You don't have to do that part. Definitely experiment with it. It might feel better to you to leave it on, but I always like to trim just a little bit off. And I always love to use just a regular eyelash curler to curl my lashes before I put them on too, because it makes them look so much more dramatic. So I just like to slide them right in there and give them a little bit of a curl. I'm gonna put the glue on right now as well, so that can start to dry while I curl my real lashes. Some people like to put mascara on before they put their fake lashes on. I like to do it after. I feel like it kind of just helps blend the lashes together a little bit better if you put it on both of them at the same time. I really like these lashes. You can kind of see they're separated a little bit. Like it gives it a little bit more drama and cuteness. Just gonna let these dry. While this does dry, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of something else to my lower waterline. I normally don't use white liner, but I feel like this look calls for it. So I'm gonna put a little bit of white liner on my bottom waterline. Make my eyes look even bigger. While this dries, I am actually going to add a little bit of highlight too. I have my highlight palette, Angel's palette by Lime Crime. I'm going to use the pink shade right in the middle to add a little bit of highlight just to my cheekbones right here. And right in the middle of my nose too. This is dry enough to start putting it on. I like to just look down into a mirror. As always, I do like to make sure that I squish the fake lash together with my real lashes. There's no gap. And we are done with that side. Doesn't look so cute. Now we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. And while we wait for this glue to dry, I can start putting some mascara on my lower lashes. I'm just going to do the right side for now. I'm using Lash Extender by e.l.f. I will be putting a couple of layers of this on, so I'm going to wait for that first layer to dry before I put the next layer on so it can really stick. I'm also going to put some of this mascara right on my lashes to help blend them into the fake lashes as well. And then just do the same thing with the other side with mascara. Okay, final step. I'm going to be using House Laboratories Le Monster Matte Lip Crayon in Hot Rod. I got this on Amazon a hot second ago. I don't know if it still exists there, but I really like this color though. Just gonna put a little clear gloss on top. And I'll see you at the Pink Pony Club. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if there are any looks you'd like to see me do here in the future. I'll see you next time.